Men's hockey moves into sole possession of first place in the MASCAC. Women's swimming and diving celebrate Senior Day and its home opener at the same time, and a women's basketball player is honored by the LEC. All that and more on the next Panther Rewind, coming at you right now.
Hello Panther Nation, welcome to another edition of Panther Rewind, brought to you by Biederman's Deli. I'm Dan Salzer alongside my partner and Chris Kilmer. Fans, a quick reminder about Plymouth State Athletics Day of Giving coming up on Saturday, December 7th. Help us reach our goal of $75,000 as we look to continue to grow and support the programs you love.
Women's swimming and diving celebrated its Senior Day and home opener at the same time last Friday, handling Albertus Magnus in the process. Prior to the meet, longtime coach Al Switzer was recognized during a small reception where it was announced the annual alumni meet will be renamed in his honor. Once the teams were on the pool deck, Plymouth State honored senior diver Casey Allaire. Allaire has been a staple to the program's success, winning 4 New England championships, 2 LEC titles, and being named the Diver of the Year twice to go along with her Rookie Diver of the Year honors as a freshman. In the water, it was all Plymouth State as the Panthers rolled to a 101-64 win. Sophomore Madeline Svetten posted the top time in all 3 of her individual events, while classmate Ellie Wilson and freshman Jessica McGregor were the top finishers in 2 events each. The Panthers will take a break for the Thanksgiving holiday before squaring off against Rhode Island College at Bryant University on December 7th.
Thanks to a 4-point week on the road, the men's hockey team now sits alone atop the MASCAC standings with a 4-1 record and 8 points and 4-2 overall this season. The Panthers kicked off the week on Thursday afternoon with a trip to Worcester State. PSU got on the board early when junior Brett Backman was fed a stretch pass that saw him on a breakaway 5:50 into the first. Miles Abbott would later add one in the period as the Panthers took a 2-0 lead into the break. PSU would squander their lead in the second thanks to 3 goals from the Lancers to tie the game at 3 going into the third period, although the power play would come alive in the last 20 minutes to seal the win. PSU took on UMass Dartmouth on Saturday in a physical contest that saw a combined 22 penalties in nearly 75 penalty minutes. After going down early, the Panthers would regroup in the second period, thanks to junior J.R. Barone putting home his 3rd goal of the season on a 4-on-3 power play. Freshman Marcus Seidel would score the eventual game winner with 96 seconds remaining in the second period. 2 Panthers were recognized for their performances on Monday when freshman Leo Stolpo was named MASCAC Player and Rookie of the Week with his goal and 2 assists, while senior Andreas Pettersson was named Goalie of the Week thanks to his 2 wins, sporting a 2.00 goals against average and a .941 save percentage with 64 saves last week, improving his record to 4-0-0. The Panthers continued their road trip when they traveled to Utica, New York this weekend for the Delta Hotels by Marriott Thanksgiving Showcase. PSU battles number 12 Utica on Friday night before taking on either number 7 Salve Regina or number 9 Oswego State on Saturday.
Men's basketball split a pair of non-conference games last week, handling Riviere on Tuesday before coming up just short at Elms on Saturday. Sophomore Dante Rivera led a balanced attack against the Raiders, scoring a game-high 18 points to lead 4 Panthers in double figures. Junior Devin Cooper added 14 points on 7 of 10 shooting, while sophomores Manny Sanchez and Manny Alessandro added 13 and 10 points, as 14 different players scored for PSU. With the win, Plymouth improved to 18-1 all-time against Riviere. Saturday, it was senior Jalen Leroy leading the way with a season-high 29 points and a 3-point loss at Elms. Rivera's jumper gave Plymouth a 59-55 lead with just over 4 minutes remaining, but the Blazers used an 8-0 run to take the lead for good. Senior Joe Simpson drilled a 3 to make it 67-64 with 19 seconds left, and the Panthers forced a turnover, but a game-tying 3-point attempt was too strong as Elms held on for the win. Plymouth hosts Colby Sawyer tonight at 7:30.
Women's basketball would split a pair of non-conference games this past week and now sit 3-2 overall here in the young season. Last Tuesday saw the Panthers host Riviere University inside Foley Gymnasium. After the Raiders took an early 11-4 lead, PSU would chip away at that lead, led by senior Brittany Roach, who would drain a 3 to pull PSU within 1, 11-10, before getting a steal and leading freshman Bella Earl to an open layup with less than 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. PSU would extend their lead with a strong second quarter led by Earl with her 7 points in the frame on 3 of 7 shooting and 1 of 2 from downtown. Roach would add 2 3-pointers of her own to lead the Panthers to a 35-25 lead at the half. PSU would extend their lead to 12 multiple times in the third quarter, but the Raiders would battle back to make it a 43-36 scoreline. The Panthers would answer with a 10-2 run sparked by 6 points from freshman Jalen Cook, as the Panthers would control a double-digit lead the rest of the way to hold on to a 62-50 victory. Saturday saw the Panthers travel to Suffolk University. A slow start saw PSU trail 12-7 early on and fall behind 22-12 to close out the first quarter. Roach would heat up from long range in the second, knocking down a pair of triples to make it 31-22. And senior Shanice Hill would sink an interior bucket late in the quarter to make it 37-26 at the half. PSU would try to close the gap down in the second half, outscoring the Rams 14-11 in the third, but ultimately came up short, falling 72-61 despite Cook's team-high 17 points off the bench. For her efforts, Cook was named LEC Rookie of the Week, averaging 14.5 points, 8 rebounds, while shooting 40% from the floor last week. The Panthers return to action tonight when they host non-conference opponent Kobe Sawyer for a 5:30 tip-off.
Women's ice hockey suffered a pair of NEHC defeats last weekend, falling to UMass Boston 4-1 on Friday and number 5 Norwich 6-0 on Saturday. In the Panthers' annual teddy bear toss game on Friday, the visiting Beacons raced out to a 2-0 lead in the first period. Sophomore Zoe Kilich cut the deficit in half late in the second period, bringing hundreds of teddy bears onto the ice. But UMass Boston added a power play and empty net goal in the third to take the win. The hundreds of bears collected will be donated to the Children's Hospital at Dartmouth for families in need during the upcoming holiday. And Friday's showing puts the team well on its way to the goal of 2,019 total bears donated. On Saturday, PSU ran into number 5 Norwich, falling 6-0 to the Cadets, ending the longest run without being shut out to open a year since the 2010-11 season. Freshman goalie Becca Bridge was tested early and often, finishing with an impressive 36 saves. PSU is back on the ice tonight, hosting Division I St. Michael's College at Hanaway Rink. Puck drop is set for 6 o'clock.
Wrestling returned to action this past week as they traveled to Springfield College on Saturday for the Doug Parker Invitational, where the Panthers would come home 14th out of 15 teams. Freshman Noah Gifford placed at 197 pounds to lead the Panthers on Saturday. Gifford won 3 bouts, including one by fall, to climb through the consolation bracket before falling in the 5th place bout. He earned his first tournament place of his career in only his second tournament. Senior Steve Abusheri went 2 for 2, picking up a sudden victory with a 13-11 decision and added an 8-1 win at 157 pounds. Freshman Trevor O'Mara also went 2 for 2 after impressive technical fall and major decision at 149 pounds. PSU would finish tied for 14th with 15.5 points with Johns Hopkins, a half point behind Springfield Technical Community College. The Panthers will enjoy this week off for the Thanksgiving break before returning to action on Saturday, December 7th at the Ted Reese Invitational at Southern Maine.
That'll do it for this week's edition of Panther Rewind. For my partner Dan Salzer, I'm Chris Kilmer, wishing all of Panther Nation the happiest of Thanksgivings.